Hello, my friend. You are addicted to the client chaos. Client chaos? Don't you just mean like regular, normal fulfillment? Nothing. That is just suffering with invoices. You need to switch to the tools. Tools? What do you mean? It is a well-established fact that the white bitches go crazy for the tools. Especially my tool. That's fucking disgusting. What's up, guys? It's Frankie here. In this video, I want to show you how to transform your service into tools. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you ever go to sell a service business, typically you will get a 2 to 3x multiple. So say you build up a business to $1 million and you go to sell it as your service business, you get 2 to 3 million. Obviously doesn't suck. But if you sell a software business, for example, you'll often get 20 to 30x, 20 to 30 million. And the reason is because a software is a tool and tools scale so much better. And so I want to show you guys how to turn your deliverable, your service that is built often on blood, sweat, and tears and working for clients into tools. And the reason for this is tools have infinite leverage, scale much easier. And this is especially useful for those of you guys who either are no good at fulfillment, hate doing fulfillment, or just find yourself drowning in the work that every time you sign up a bunch of clients, you create a bunch of work for yourself that you have a hard time fulfilling on, and it slows your income growth. I want to show you how to get into a world, the zero fulfillment world, which is creating tools that help people. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name's Frankie Finn. I wrote these 2 best-selling books, Beyond the Agency Box, which you can find the link for below this video, Passive Automated Recurring Income. Both of those reach bestseller status at various points in their life. I've also built 3 of my own agency up to 100 plus clients. And I've helped thousands of people like you out there to live this more beach, less lap lifestyle. Let's get into the good shit.
Yo, it's Frankie Finn. Beach mode engaged. Looms loaded, AI's humming. Let's go!
So let's start with the big, obvious question, which is why? Okay? Why would you want to take your service that may be working for you, that may produce recurring income, and why would you want to switch it into a tool? And I'll show you these if we can stack these side by side. So over here, we're going to put a service, and over here, we're going to put a tool. And the first thing I want to do is let's talk about what happens after you make a sale. So this is a little dollar sign, it's probably badly drawn. But after you make a sale, is often with a service, you have energy in the form of onboarding. I'm just going to write E for energy. You actually have to, if you're making a website or you are running some ads, maybe Google pay-per-click or Facebook ads, or maybe you're doing some SEO, like there's a lot of moving pieces that you have to fulfill on. And if you want to scale those, it can be done, but you have to bring in teams, you have to have standard operating procedures, you have to have systems and things like that. When you create a tool, what happens post-sale most time is I go, here's your download. So here it is. Here it is. And by the way, a lot of times when you send over the download, the hardest part of the whole delivery is sometimes people go, oh, hey, I didn't get my link. And you go, sorry about that. Here it is. Again, the second time. Right? They'll send you a receipt and say, I didn't get my download link. Oh, sorry about that. Here it is. So anyways, wanted to share that with you guys because when you start adding up, say 100 clients, so let's talk about what happens when you go to scale, is when you have 100 people, for example, every single time you get a client, you know, what happens, it comes with a lot of things. So it comes with reports. So this is energy again. It comes with meetings. It comes with phone calls. It comes with expectation setting. It comes with updates. Tools. You go, you might have a question or two, right? So somebody will email you and say, hey, I got a question about the tool, right? So over here, by the way, you'll find yourself questioning your sanity, and you may even like end up looking like this.
I had to break up with Lucy. She wouldn't let me. I'm scared of her, Mr. Leahy. I mean,
Randy, we're gonna have to do something about Lucy.
what, Mr. Leahy?
I don't know, Randy. Maybe these things have a way of working themselves out. I'm gonna let the liquor do the thinking. Have a drink.
So I'll tell you the biggest con, the downside, is the money is typically, and I'm gonna show you guys a way around this, is when you sell a service, is it's usually recurring, right? Like people pay you month after month after month. And the way most people structure tools is they typically sell those one time. Now, having said that, I want to give you guys 2 examples of people who sold their shit and didn't do it one time. So one comes to mind is Sam Carlson, friend of our channel over at UpHex. For those of you guys who never used UpHex, very cool tool. It's a done-for-you Facebook ad library. Now, Sam could go and he could run Facebook ads for thousands of clients, but he decided to create a library and create a template of ads or that they have tested and they worked, whether you're trying to run it for, a plumber or a dentist or whatever, like in most major niches, they have ads that already work. And so instead of Sam going in and saying, I'm gonna run the ads for you, he created a tool where you can click a button and swipe them in your account. And the magic of that is the money is still recurring. My second favorite example, Rebecca Duran, she started a martial arts studio in San Antonio, Texas, and they eventually figured out Facebook ads and a couple of strategies, and she filled up her school. Then she decided she wanted to scale the business, and the problem was it's a real physical school. If she wanted to grow it, she would have to open multiple locations, be in multiple cities across the state, hire all kinds of people, and it just sounded kind of blah to her. So she decided, I'm gonna run Facebook ads for other martial arts studios. Well, she did that for a while. She found all the same challenges: client meetings, reports, updates, challenges, things like that. Can you call me? Can you call me? Oh, we're canceling. We decided to go a different direction, right? All those kind of things. And she decided one day to make it so that she would take her winning ads, and for a couple of buttons, she created what is called a licensing agreement. I believe it's either $1,000 or $1,500 a month. So she still gets recurring income. So people license her winning ads, they click a button, they borrow them, they get them set up in their account. Now here's the most interesting thing to me. Rebecca's dad died, sad, I know, during the whole COVID madness. And she ended up just grieving, and she took 9 months off. And now she took 9 months off, no client updates, no reports, no meetings. What percentage of clients do you think canceled in that period of time? And the answer was $0. $1 million agency, $1 million licensing agency, not one client canceled. They continued to rent ads hands off. So how do we go from service to tools and intellectual property, right? Over here, mentally, you are a service provider. Over here, you are a dealer in intellectual property. And by the way, when you have intellectual property, your money comes from there. Like Elvis made $100 million last year, despite the notable handicap of fucking being dead, right? So that's the power of renting tools. And so when you do that, you can live a life where you can do kind of cool shit like this. Okay, so let's define firstly what a tool is, because a lot of times when people hear the word tool, they think course. Oh, if I sell courses, I won't have to do shit. And what we're not talking about is courses. So I'll give you an example of the difference, okay? Let's say you have intimate knowledge of Facebook ads. Some of you guys out there, that's a real thing. Some of you guys are still trying to learn that, okay? If we're creating a Facebook ads course, usually we're gonna charge a one-time payment, and it's mostly about, I'm gonna learn ya. So it might be like get 45 videos where I show you how to set up targeting, I show you how to create a winning ad, I show you what images to use, I show you what stuff in there to avoid, and you gotta watch a bunch of videos and things like that. And it's work for somebody to extract the value. Now, what's different about a tool is designed to assist with implementation. So let's say instead of making 45 videos, we programmed a custom GPT or an AI tool with all those 45 videos, and then you would just answer a few questions about what you do, and it would output a winning ad. It would tell you who to target. It would tell you exactly what to say in the ad. It would tell you exact image. My question to you, if you're trying to run Facebook ads, which one of those would be more valuable for you? 45 modules of I'm gonna learn you, or a tool that makes implementation easy? So for most part, tools mean templates, and pre-programmed AI and things like that, where it makes it so implementation is the focus over here, right? Over here, it's about information. We're going to teach you a bunch of stuff. Over here, it's about I built you something to get it done, right? So this could be a high-level template, GHL, as it's kind of known in our world, or some kind of template, right? So say, for example, you have made a website for a client and you helped a client, let's say, to sell plumbing. Well, you could try and find 45 other new plumbers to design websites for, or you could templatize the website that you've already built and rent out access and say, I've built this template for you that is designed to convert. In fact, we actually had a guy, Tarek, joined our mastermind. And the first thing he said to me is, I used to run a cleaning company and I just built a website for another cleaning company. I think I want to niche down in cleaning companies because I understand them really, really well. And I made this cool website. How do I go get more web design clients? And I said, you're asking the wrong question. You're asking, how can I be a service provider? And I said, show me this website. And one of the cool things he built on this website is he experienced the same problem that a lot of cleaning companies do, which people call them up all day long and go, how much is it for this? How much is it for that? Can you give me a quote on this? And then a lot of times they go, well, we'll call you back. So he put a little widget on the site that was a little quoting widget. It would say, tell us about the room you're trying to get clean. You'd answer a few questions or whatever. It would give you a quote. And then the only people who called already had an idea of what the price would be. And so they were much more higher buyer intent. So they got less overall calls, but better calls, right? And so my first thing to Tarek was, Tarek, don't try and get hired to build another custom website. Templatize the one you've already built and rent it out. Now, I'm here to tell you, even if you've never done anything for anybody, you can actually get other people's templates really easy. In fact, I was just at a live event in Miami 2 weeks ago, and I said to one of the guys, he had a winning Facebook ad system. I said, hey, the guy's name is Nick. I said, hey, Nick, I really like your system. Is there any way I could use that in other industries and we could templatize it? And then every time we used it, I would send you a little royalty payment for the intellectual property you built. And he was like, heck yeah, dude, anytime you want. So I have a working Facebook ad system. I didn't even have to build it, right? I just got control of it by asking. So there's a real power in this because it enables you to be first. And as Ricky Bobby says,
Gene, if you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That phrase is trademark, not to use the tradition of Ricky Bobby.
So that's my way of saying, no matter what you do, you can templatize your stuff and you can rent access. Like the richest guy I know in my hometown, who I'm not even sure if he's still alive because he was really old. He was like in his 70s and I haven't talked to him for like 10 or 15 years. But it's an old Italian guy named Franco. And Franco owned 7 apartment buildings and a golf course. And the reason he was rich is because he owned 7 apartment buildings and a golf course, right? And when you think about it, like an apartment building, he was renting access to a place to live, right? And he would rent it month after month after month, and people were paying for access, right? We want to do the same thing digitally with our tools and our templates and our AI things, is not go out and try and sell them as courses and information, but rather to assist people with implementation and make it really easy. So in Tarek's case, he said, hey, I got this really cool website. It's got a quoting widget because I know you get asked all the time, how much is it for this and how much is it for that? And I can eliminate all those tire kickers for you. And if you want, I'll just let you try it out for 2 months. If at the end of those 2 months you like it, you can rent it from me for $199 a month. Now think about how hard it is to sell a $2,000 to $3,000 custom WordPress build. And yet, because he's already got the template, it takes him 5 minutes to set it up. He's got to get access to the thing, install it, change a few colors and a few details. And then he's able to rent access to it continuously around the clock, forever and ever till the end of time. So if you guys are interested in more of these like sort of advanced licensing deals, here's the thing I wish I knew. Tools are actually easier to sell than services. Like software, for example, is easier to sell than a service. Because a service, you got to prove your worthiness as a service provider. Are you going to call me? Are you going to update me? Are you going to do all this bullshit? As a tool provider, you just got to say, like, prove that the tool actually does what you say you're going to do. So if you guys are interested in that, by the way, this is something I've only ever heard talked about inside of our private agency mastermind called the Wolfpack for agency owners, which you can check out at beyondagencyprofits.com. There is a link for the Wolfpack, and it's kind of like this. So I hope with this video I inspire you guys to see the power of tools. In fact, one of the things that's become hard for me is over the last 3 years, I've switched my mindset from more of being a service provider to someone who rents intellectual property, because as mentioned, Elvis made 100 million last year despite being dead. And actually an example of the power of one more of renting intellectual property. When George Lucas pitched the studios, I forget which studio it was, maybe let's call it Universal, but it might have been someone else. But when he pitched them on Star Wars, they didn't think the movie was going to be successful. So he said, would you mind giving me the merchandising rights? So if we sell any toys or hats or shirts or whatever, I get the money off that. And the studio didn't think the movie was going to work. So they said, whatever, have it. He has since become a billionaire with a B for all the licensing rights. And here's the thing, every time there's a Star Wars thing or a fucking Yoda doll or a lightsaber sold, he gets a percentage of all those sales. But what does he have to do from an effort point of view? And the answer is zero, right? 0, 0, 0. He's not making the hats, he's not making the shirts. He's simply renting out his intellectual property. If he was a service provider, I'll help you try the shirt on, I'll help you pick the present for your kid, I'll help you become top lightsaber champion. I'm not saying those businesses can't scale. They're just really, really hard. Like think about this in the real world. How many service businesses, think of say an accountant. How many accounting businesses do you know that scaled to really big numbers versus say Netflix, which is simply renting access? Which one of those gets bigger, faster, and easier? And it's always gonna be when you rent access to tools. So if you wanna make your fulfillment life easier, and then the other thing that we didn't even talk about, even if you still want to stay 100% a service provider, tools are a much easier foot in the door than, like if I was trying to sell Facebook ads, I would just say, hey, here's my winning ad template. I got 20 more of these. Try this first one and let me know if it works. Even if they don't use it, they see how it can work and they're far more likely to hire you to do Facebook ads than had you not done that. So I hope you guys are seeing the power of this. And if you want me to do more videos on this, let me know in the comments below. Even if you're one of those monsters who likes pineapple on pizza, I don't know how you sleep at night if that's you, but I would love to show you guys how to turn existing services into tools to either get your foot in the door easier and or to completely leverage your deliverable and have something that's more scalable and easier that you can rent access to, just like Sam did, just like Rebecca did. And that's all I got for you guys in this video. Make sure to subscribe for the Golden Dad Guns with the greatest of all time, me, Frankie Finn, His Holiness, the dude, 170 pounds of pure steel and sex appeal, and may the Triforce be with you. Buy my book, or I will Photoshop your face on Gary Vee running mid-sprint and say, you just gotta want it more.